Hey guys, Vazzy back here, and in today's video, it is time for episode 2 of our Edmonton Oilers Retro Franchise Mode. So in the first episode, we basically just went through all the rosters, all the lines, everything like that, and was just a big introduction for you guys to the series. In this episode, I plan on getting to the halfway point of the season. 41 games in, we'll see where we're at, and make moves from there. So just a reminder of the roster if you guys did forget. It's kind of what we're rocking, at least for forwards. We ended up signing Saka Koivu. He is currently our second line center. Defensively, we're looking pretty solid again. And goaltending wise, we have Fosk and Scrivens, I believe. Schultz there with 4.5 green stars, pretty good. And yeah, we do have Fosk and Scrivens in the net. So more or less that is what the team is looking like here, headed into year one with the Oilers. And again, it is very important that I remind you guys, this is the year that Connor McDavid is eligible to be drafted. So that's something we also have to consider too. We might want to tank the team a little bit more. If we're playing too good, we definitely want to try and get those top odds. Let's jump into the first game against the Flames here. First period, it is 2-1 for Calgary. Schultz gets one for us, Backlund and Monahan get one for them. Second period, it is still 2-1 for the Flames, and we do lose 5-2. Hoodler gets a couple, Raymond gets one, and Nikitin gets one for us. So honestly, I would say not a great start, but with the way that we want this season to go, it's not too bad to say the least. So I'm basically with the goalies both being 84 overall. They're going to split starts. Each goalie is going to continue to play until there is a back-to-back, and then we will switch them out. So going up against the Canucks here in game number 2, we do get our first one of the season by a score of 4-1. As that was Victor Fosk in net. Saka Koivu picks up 2 assists, good to see. Up against the Kings here that are 0-3, we lose by a score of 2-1. But let's get in there and switch the goaltenders out quick. Again, it is kind of that micromanaging to it, but it's what I enjoy. And really, we're in no rush here. This is an old game back from 2015. Just having fun with it, and yeah, just take our time. Especially the first season here should be a good one as we look toward the big draft coming up here. So let's simulate to the end of next week as we lose 5-2 against the Arizona Coyotes, I believe they were. I'm not sure if they were still Phoenix back then. Back up against the Canucks, and we beat them again by a score of 2-1. As we approach next week, I believe we have 3 games here, as we will have a 3-game homestand against Eastern teams. First off, against the Tampa Bay Lightning, we beat them by a score of 4-5. As David Perron has 5 goals for us early on. That's actually not too bad. Koivu has 6 assists in 6 games. Unfortunately, lose to the Capitals 2-1. And then up against the Carolina Hurricanes, who are 1-4-1. They beat us by a score of 4-1. Let's go in and switch the goalies again. I think I can do it from my phone. Yeah, team rosters there. Let's see. Let's get, I think it's Ben Scrivens out of the net. Yeah, we'll get Fosk back in for now. And we will give him the next chunk of games here until we hit a back-to-back. Let's hang up the phone. And let's go up to the Buffalo game. So let's get through this here as we sit 3-3-2. Going into a week where we do have 3 games again. First off, a Canadian matchup with the Montreal Canadiens. Sit 4-3-1 on the season. We lose to them by a score of 2-1. Up next against a rival 1-7 Nashville, we beat them 7-0. They are definitely having a very rough start to the season. As we go up here against the Vancouver Canucks again. Take a break here. I just want to check these stats here, 10 games in. See if there's any concerns, any moves we want to make here, at least while we're still early in. I see Eberle only has 3 assists through 10 games. That's concerning. Perron, Yakupov, Koivu leading the way for this team. Hall's only at 5. It's a little bit concerning for sure, at least for Hall and Eberle. Defensively, other than Schultz, we're really not expecting a ton of scores. And goaltending, it's still pretty early on, but those are good numbers for those guys. So, yeah, a little concerned about that top line anyway. Let's see if we can make some moves, kind of spark some things. I'm not sure what we can really do here. Maybe if we took Perron, put him on the top line, he's been playing very good early on, so get Eberle on the second line with Yakupov and Koivu. Try something like that at least for the next couple of games and see if that works. But let us get back into the calendar simulation here, since we made a couple of small moves with the team. Continue the simulation up against Buffalo, where we will switch the goalies. Up against the Canucks here. Let's see, can we beat them 3 times? No, they do get a win back, shutting us out by a score of 4-0. As we said, 4-5-2, sorry, early on in the season. Against the Flyers and Vinny Lecavalier, beat them by a score of 5-2. And up against the Bruins, who are 6-4-4, we lose 2-0 to them. So again, we're more or less playing 500 hockey right now. Don't mind it. We're not hopefully competing for a playoff spot. I guess we'll see as the season goes on if the guys want to go for it and they are playing very well. I guess we won't really have a choice, but Eberle only getting 1 assist in those 3 games. He's definitely concerning me a bit here. Let's see if we can switch anything else up. Like maybe it's too many snipers all playing together. Hull, Eberle. Maybe that's why Yakupov's having success on that second line. Honestly, not too sure, but he is going to be one of the faces of this franchise, so we definitely want to get him turned around here and not stunt his growth if possible. Let's go a couple weeks here up until the Chicago game. First game of the simulation here against Buffalo. We do win. Matt Barkowski on waivers. Take a look at him. 3-star potential. 77 overall. Hasn't played this year. Don't think we need him. Can probably say no for now. Let's continue on with the simulation post that. As, yeah, it looks like Perron and Yakupov are top scorers so far. Up against the Rangers, who have won 12 straight games. And we beat them. We end the Rangers' 12-game winning streak. Wow. I was not expecting that from this team. The Rangers seem to be an absolute wagon early on. Up against the Predators, we beat them for the second time this season by a score of 5-4. Up against the Senators, who are a very good team this year, we do lose by a score of 2-1. As Andrew Ference, unfortunately, does leave the game there. So he is out for 3 days, or you can see the bottom right-hand corner. It's weird I didn't get a pop-up for that. I guess it's just the computer taking care of it. Up against the Arizona Coyotes, we beat them by a score of 4-5. Let's get Ference back in there. I guess they had Martin Marincin. Pretty sure he was in. Oh, we also have Clefbaum down there. So let's see, maybe put Clefbaum in there. Oh, only 18 skaters dressed. How do I do this again? How do I scratch a guy? I'm still kind of learning this franchise mode again with you guys here. We'll get through it. We'll figure it out, all that stuff. Let's scratch Larson. Yes, let's just go best lines, whatever. Not the end of the world here. Get Ference back into the lineup, as we have 2 more games here in this simulation block up against the Canucks and Devils. Beat the Canucks once again. I think that is our 3rd win against them this year by a score of 2-0. And then up against the New Jersey Devils, we lose 4-2 against the Devils. So sitting at 10-8-2 through 20 games this year. Let's see what's going on with this team. I'm hoping Eberle and Hull kind of have been pulling it together a little bit more. Eberle 9 points. Perron is absolutely ripping it up. Same with Yakupov. Nuge, Hull not too far behind. Like a little bit more of that depth scoring. Pouliot, Purcell. Defensively, I want a little more Schultz, that's for sure. And goaltending, you know, numbers aren't too bad from either guy. And with that being said, I think I'm actually going to try and make a trade here with David Perron. We're playing a little too good right now. I want to bring that record down. So give me a sec. I'm going to try and work out a trade. So basically, this is what I have come up with. We would be sending David Perron to the Colorado Avalanche, who are a good team in this universe, for the 1st round pick. I believe Perron's a pending UFA, so get a first for him, bring this team down just a little bit. I don't mind at all. So we do get the 1st round pick from the Avalanche. Again, that's going to be huge in the draft. We're really looking to get a couple more of those good prospect players in the system. to really build around the Hall, the Eberle, the Yakupovs, the hopefully McDavid. We also have a guy like Leon Draisaitl on the way we have to remember. So let's get these lines back to how we wanted them. Overall, they're not too bad. Get Victor Fosk in there for a little bit. And then let's get back to the calendar simulation. Go up until the St. Louis Blues here, where we will switch the goalies again. Firstly, though, against the Blackhawks, we will beat them by a score of 3-1. I gotta say, I wish the sim speed was a little bit faster on this game, but it is what it is. As we head on to the Dallas Stars game, who sit 11-3-1. We lose to the Stars by a score of 2-3. And up again against the Predators for I believe the third time this season. We beat them by a score of 5-2. So I think we've actually won all our games against the Predators. Where's roster moves here? Oh, literally the first one. Again, yeah, still getting used to old NHL franchise mode. Let's switch the goalies here quick, get Scrivens back in the net. Toronto Maple Leafs legend, Ben Scrivens. Hang up the phone. And let's do a bunch of simulation. We'll get up to the Anaheim game, where we have a home and home against them and the Sharks coming up. We do lose to the St. Louis Blues by a score of 5-2. As we get into the next week, I believe we are facing Arizona and Winnipeg. Arizona at home, Winnipeg on the road. It appears Arizona is actually having a pretty good season here, at least early on. That being said, we do beat them by a score of 2-1. Up against the 500 Jets, we beat them by a score of 4-1. As Petrie goes out for 3-4 weeks there. Not ideal, but whatever. Again, like, we're trying to not be an amazing team. Taylor Hall leading the way with 11 goals. Nuge has 17 assists. And Scrivens has his 8 wins. So we're actually doing quite a bit better right now than I thought we would be doing. Another win against the Sharks. I think that's 3 in a row, I want to say. And away against the Sharks now. Can we beat them? No, we lose. John Erskine on waivers. No, he's old. He's 77 overall. We don't need him. So sitting 15-10-2 now. Let's switch the goalies here as we head toward the back half of the halfway point of the season. But yeah, I don't know. I might actually have to make a couple more trades here and see if I can tank this team a little bit more. I guess the guys really want to win. Looks like there was one trade around the NHL that we missed. Tyler Lewington going to the Ducks. More waiver activity. Don't need him. We do beat the Ducks in Anaheim 2-1. As Nail Yakupov jumps up as our assist leader on the year with 19. We lose to the Ducks at home 5-1. So that is going to do it for the second week of December here, as we face the Rangers once again, who are 19-9, having a very good season with Rick Nash and Marty St. Louis, and actually Henrik Lundqvist, forgot about him there for a sec. We do lose to the Rangers 7-3, so we beat them earlier in the year. We probably shouldn't have. They definitely took a test there in that one. As we lose to Arizona 4-3, going up against the Sharks, who are having a pretty good season. Brett Burns leading them in scoring, 21 goals. We get Petrie back. I'll just go assistant coach, best lines. It looks like actually Taylor Hall is out, but not for too long, only 2 days. Should be getting him back here early in this next week coming up. Up against the Stars here on the Sunday, who sit 16-12-3. Lose to them by a score of 3-2. So now we're on a little bit of a losing streak here. I wouldn't mind if we continue upon that, if I'm being honest. Definitely, yeah. Just want to get a better draft pick for this year. As even if we don't get a guy like McDavid, there's still Matthew Barzal I saw there. There's some pretty good players still in this draft. So even if we don't land the number 1 pick, there's still some options available to us. And that again is why I wanted to make that David Perron trade, just get more picks and all that stuff that we can build upon here the next couple seasons. As we lose 6-1 against the Coyotes. I think that's 4 losses in a row now. Going against the Flames in the Battle of Alberta here. See if we can beat them. I believe we lost that game. I actually didn't see. We will be playing the Flames here again this next week, but first we will be hosting the Los Angeles Kings. The Kings this year, they're a good team. they're kind of 500 just with us, and we shut them out by a score of 3-0. So actually here we can see some of the stats without even having to go to the stats screen, which is really cool. We are sitting third in the division, which is pretty surprising, with 41 points. Which is, yeah, definitely not too bad. We'd definitely be in line for the playoffs if the season ended today. Let's get a look at the individual player stats. It's been a little while since we've taken a look at this team. It does appear Eberle has turned it around a bit. Yakupov leading our team in scoring with 31 points. Eberle right behind him, same with Koivu, Hall, and Nuge. Then we actually have a bit of a drop-off, which is unfortunate. Pouliot there, Purcell, Hendricks. It's not amazing overall. Again, Schultz, I kind of hope for a little bit more out of him, but it's not horrible for defensemen. And goaltending-wise, we're actually doing not too bad. Fosk has the better win record, but Skinner is putting, or not Skinner, Scrivens is putting up the better overall numbers. So it is a interesting simulation here, to say the least. How many games are we at? 37 games. We have 4 more games to go in this episode, as we will be taking it to the halfway point of the season. Switch the goalies one more time. Give Scrivens the last 4 starts of this episode. Up against the Flames. First, the Avalanche, the Islanders, and the Wings will finish it off. So up against the Flames here for the second time in a week. We do lose by a score of 4-1 in this occasion. Up against David Perron and the Colorado Avalanche, we lose 2-1 to them in that game. Sitting 18-16-5 here as we approach the midway point. Going up against the Islanders, who are having a really tough season, sitting at 13-22-3. Can we beat the Islanders? We do beat them 2-1. And the last game that we will be simulating here in this episode against the Wings and Pavel Datsyuk, we do lose by a score of 5-1, as the Wings are actually on an 8-game win streak, so it makes sense as they were a pretty good team back then. But yeah, so at the halfway point of the season, we sit 19-17-5. Take a look at some of these stats here before we close out the episode. So we're sitting 19th in the league when it comes to points. Again, that's a little better than I wanted to do. Top of the league is the Boston Bruins, 24 wins, 11 losses, 7 OT losses, for a combined 55 points. So let's look at some of the team standings. Jump in here one more time and take a look at the players, see who is leading the way for this Oilers team. I doubt it has all changed that much since the last time we checked, but yeah, Yakupov still leading the way, followed by Eberle, Nuge, Hall, Koivu, and then more just kind of the depth players down there a little bit lower in the lineup. Defensively, still Justin Schultz with 19 points. And goaltending wise, yeah, it's more or less split 500, and they're both doing very solid. But yeah, I think that is going to do it for our first real episode of simulation here with the Edmonton Oilers in NHL 15. Definitely let me know if there's any trades, anything we should be making here to make this team worse or better. Either way, we will see in the next episode. But until then, I will see you all in the next video.